all, my name is Pax, and I'm going to be talking about some good places to study on campus. First up, I'm going to talk about the night library, which is one of the most popular places on campus to study. The night library is 4 floors and filled with little nooks and crannies you can study in. There's also a little cafe in the basement so you can refill on caffeine whenever you need. On the 4th floor of the night library is the Teaching and Academic Engagement Center, which offers free tutoring for certain subjects. The night library also has individual and group study rooms that you can reserve at no cost. I recommend reserving these in advance because they are definitely a hot commodity come finals time. Finally, my favorite part about the night library is the librarians. If you are ever stuck with a research paper and need help, just go to them and they will get you organized, find you some sources, and get you hooked up with resources. Next up, we have the Price Science Library, which is one of my personal favorite places to study on campus. It also has a little cafe in it, which you'll find is a common theme for all of the places that I study in. Downstairs, there are reservable study rooms just like the night library. I recommend reserving these in advance too. They also have subject study rooms in the sciences like biology, human physiology, and physics. There's a few more in there. One of my personal favorite things about the science library is the whiteboards that they have. They have tons of movable whiteboards in there that you can do your work on, and they provide the expo markers for you. Finally, a really good resource that they have in there is their video game rentals. So they have a massive video game library and you can rent out whatever kind of video game you find interesting. They also have video game consoles there to rent out. It's definitely worth a check out, and I recommend exploring everything that it has to offer. Okay, the last place I'm going to be talking about is the Herb Memorial Union. The Herb Memorial Union is my absolute favorite place to study on campus. It's 3 floors and there's absolutely no end to the seating in there. You will always be able to find a little place to study. Now I know you're wondering, Pax, where is the caffeine? You'll be glad to know that there's actually a few places that you can get caffeine from in there. There's a Starbucks inside and Townsend's Tea Company. There's also a Jamba Juice if that's more your speed. My favorite place to study in the EMU is up on the 2nd floor. If you don't really like to study out in the open, there are tons of organizations inside the EMU that you can study inside. For example, there's the Non-Traditional Student Union, the Mills International Center, or the Women's Center. Speaking of the Women's Center, if you ever need to print something and don't have any money, you can print up to 5 pages a day for free in the Women's Center. If you're ever feeling a little stressed when you're studying, I really recommend checking out the Duck Nest. It's on the ground floor and they offer tons of little activities that help you de-stress. You can do some coloring, make an aromatherapy sachet, or take a nap in their nap room. Finally, if you ever need to refuel while you're studying, there are tons of food options inside the EMU, like Chipotle or Subway. I really recommend exploring all that the EMU has to offer. I know it can be a little daunting at first because it's such a big building, but every room holds something new. Finally, I have a few tips for studying on campus in general. First of all, please do not be afraid to explore the buildings. It took me about 1.5 years until I found a place that I really loved to study. Every single building on campus has a spot to study, and I know it can be daunting to explore, but no one is judging you. When it comes to the resources on campus, please take advantage of them. I am up in the Women's Center a few times a week printing things out because I don't have a printer at home. I really recommend reserving study rooms in advance. Come finals time, it is really hard to find a good room. You can do this online through the library website. Finally, if you are ever struggling in any class, please check out the Teaching and Academic Engagement Center in the night library. They have helped me save my grade in chemistry on more than a few occasions. They don't just offer one-on-one tutoring, they also have group tutoring for certain classes. It is definitely worth a try.